All right, Anita Maxwell. We are so back. Hey, my name is Sheel, and in 2023, I used 23 rolls of film. That wasn't planned, I promise, but let's look back and dissect some of my favorite images, one image from each month, and then...
Segment!
Yeah, we're gonna go straight into a segment. Thanks for joining me. January. In January, I tested the Lomography Action Sampler. I don't know if you remember. It's a fun little 4-lens camera. Fun camera to use. I want to use this more when there's nice little action sequences. That was great. Then into February, went out to Calgary to go skiing with some friends, and I carried around my medium format camera. It was -30. Wouldn't recommend it, but also I would, because then you can get pictures like this. I think this was one of my favorites from that month. Your eyes follow the line of skiers up to the mountain peak. They're about to go down. The details are just so cool. You can see a couple skiers down at the bottom. I really love this picture. March. Depressing. Work. I call this one Office Blues because it is both office and I was feeling blue. But the photo itself makes me happy. A fun little diptych, tells a little story. Got the CN Tower in the rear view. Objects might be closer than they appear. It's fun. April brought her showers, but also more experiments. I used 35mm film in a medium format camera. And I made a video about this, and this was so fun. I'm very glad the photos turned out, especially this one. This one in particular, I think is really good. I love the aspect ratio that comes out of it. I'm happy that the horizon is right, because I had to sit on the ground like this to take the photo. And I think I framed it surprisingly well. And I think that's a great little photo to sum up that month. Let's skip over May, where I didn't do anything, womp womp, and head over to June. Here's a little story about June. I saw a car parked on the sidewalk illegally. Call the cops. And I had to take a photo as per film photography laws, and it just freaking slapped. Firstly, the little flare right there on the tail light, oof, oof, hits. And apart from this man's phone and the Prius in the back, I don't think you could tell what year this photo was made in. There's no glass modern buildings. Everything is 80s, 70s architecture, a lot of concrete. All the colors are super muted, old light poles, and I think it just works as a whole scene. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below. July, my interest in black and white, although it started, it's getting deeper and deeper, okay? It's fully taking over my brain at this point, and I think this photo at the Honda Indy that I ended up printing in the darkroom really meant that I really wanted to keep this going. It turned out great. I love it. I'm really happy that the car's focused while everything else was in motion. It's a really good photo. August, back on that black and white kick, I went to a library with a camera and I got this, lights, lines. Fun fact, The Weeknd filmed a music video here. September, boy oh boy, September, do you remember the photos I took in September? I took a bunch. This is where I popped off 6 rolls of film within a week. I went ham. My friends and I went to Calgary and we drove through the most beautiful parts of Canada I have ever seen. A little recap video below. I tried some new films like Kodak Cinema film. It was my first time using Portra 400, but even after all that, I gotta say this is my favorite. Black and white just never fails. This photo is great, but there were just so many pictures that I loved from that trip, so it was hard to choose just one. In October, I ran my first half marathon, which is 21.1 kilometers. Nuts, it was tough. My goal was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and happy to say I finished it in 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 39 seconds. And I think this photo is just a fun little pic from the day. Flash photos, film, and sports just they just go together, they mesh. November didn't happen, didn't exist. December, took a little trip to Panama, and while I think I got some great stuff, this photo with these ladies wearing some traditional Panamanian clothing, really like. The lady on the left here saw me with my camera, smiled and tapped her friend on the shoulder to look at me as well. I wish I hadn't cut off their legs right at the bottom. I was super rushed. I didn't want to disturb them any longer. But I still really like it. I think it's a fun little photo. One of my faves. Segment. What is up? New app alert, Letterboxd. I've just discovered it. Been watching a lot of movies. I've been watching movies. And first segment of 2024. Let's take those off. We're chill now. We're no longer in work mode. I used to keep an Excel sheet of just movies I watched, just to track movies that I watch. And I painstakingly put all of those movies into Letterboxd now. I'm one of the first people ever on the app, which is crazy. And I've realized that like rating movies is impossible. You can't do it. It's so subjective. So, this is how I'm rating my movies, okay? 5? 5 means that it's life-changing. I'll think about it forever, subjectively. But objectively, it is just a perfect movie. It has everything you want. A perfect story arc, a great ending, a great hook. It'll just get you, okay? 4, when I rate something a 4, it means I'd recommend it and I'd rewatch it. It was a great movie. 4.5s, it might not be life-changing, but it was incredible. It might not be the perfect movie, but it was incredible. 3 means it's a good watch. That was an enjoyable movie. I'm not gonna go out of my way to recommend it to people, but it was a good movie. 2 is a background watch. It's just like some Netflix, not really. It's just like happening. You don't really need to follow along. Kind of predictable, you know? 1 is a meh. Just forgettable. It's just meh. It's not a very good movie. And then a 0.5 is just objectively a really bad movie. No redeeming qualities. It was not good. So if you like movies and you want to see what I'm watching, follow me on Letterboxd. Of course, it's SHEELIOS. And I'll give you a little recommendation that I watched recently. The Holdovers. It's a 4 stars, so it was a good movie, and I'd recommend it. So I'm gonna do that right now. The Holdovers. It's a Christmas movie, kind of, but it's super emotional, kind of has the vibe of Dead Poets Society, coming of age, emotional between the teacher and the student, some family drama, acted well. Give it a watch. See you on the next one.